showing you the case and the monitor and the bits and pieces that I got from Freecycle for absolutely nothing to start my. This is the PC. I've got the case open and I had a look in, and there's no memory. Two slots for the memory. There and there. And there is something called an Inno 3D, which looks like the graphics card. It's in the AGP slot. A Trust modem and nothing else. But it seems to have an onboard NIC and USB ports and sound. So maybe I'll get away with this. M811 version 3.1. A hard disk from Freecycle, and it's 20 gigabytes. Into the PC, I've reinstalled that memory chip that I had, memory card, memory stick, and I have taken out one of the CD drives because I needed some screws, and I want it to boot from the top one, which seems to work. The second one down didn't seem to be working. So now I'm going to install the hard disk and see what happens. Okay, there's one thing to do before I start, and that's to, if you can come up close to that, it's to set the jumpers. Okay, so just slot it into the drive, into the space. It's sitting in the bay. It sticks out a bit. I don't know if that's right. So you can now see the new screws I put in. I put the power supply in place, and I've put the cable to the IDE in place. So I've powered it up. I've had to swap the cables around. Some of the cables weren't in, and some of them were in the wrong place. Everything's working. We're now going through a millennium. Here we are. Very quickly, we've got to the main desktop of the Puppy Live distro, live from CD. And all again, I put in the second hard disk, and we have. Yeah, I can slot that above there. So now this is going to slide in. I have to set the jumper now to make this a slave, and that tells me that should be the slave. Check it again. Red strip towards the power supply. So the first one, that's going to line up there. That seems to line up okay. It's gone in firmly. Now the other one beneath it. Doesn't in any particular way, seems to just want to go that way. I had a problem with the Ubuntu installation. It seems to be something that's wrong with Grub, loading it, but having got it to fire up, there seemed to be a fault with the hard disk itself. Okay, I reset the jumpers to make the Seagate hard disk, which I know is definitely working and was working fine before with just Puppy Linux on. I made that the master. I reset the jumpers on the Western Digital to make it the slave. I put Ubuntu and Edge Ubuntu onto the Seagate disk. Now I'm putting an install of Puppy Linux onto the Western Digital disk. Okay. Well, it's a bit of a sad story, really. I couldn't get the Puppy to boot under the Grub system, and so I did a search and found what I needed. I did a search online. That's an eBay page. Never mind that. And what it was, the Grub menu had got the wrong hard disk naming. So by editing out, it had SDA and it should have been HDB. By editing that, I managed to get it to dual boot. Fantastic! So problem solved, everything working hunky-dory. Now one of the hard disks has crashed and it's not booting at all, or it is sporadically. And I'm getting a lot of noise from the hard disk that keeps trying to access something that doesn't seem to be able to. So I think my plan to put the two hard disks in is fine in theory, but unfortunately one's broken. So I'm going to now set up a partition on one of the disks so we can dual boot on the disk with Ubuntu. There it goes now. Yeah, the slave one's broken, that's the secondary one. And it's got the name wrong for the first one, that's very strange. This Western Digital, and this is very hot, with the offending one. I should unplug it really first, shouldn't I? I don't really want to partition the drive and run them both on a meager 20 gig hard disk. Okay, I'm now going to try the putting Puppy limits on. The same hard disk as we have. Okay, so here it's loaded, it's running from a live CD, and so we'll go in now and try and install it. I don't remember how to do that. Sort out how to partition it so I don't wipe my existing. I obtained an optical drive cheaply from eBay, it's a used one, and it's a DVD, and I'm going to install that beautifully. I've set that to slave, that's the other one, CD-ROM drive is the master. So now we're powering it up, see what happens to this new drive. I don't like that sound. It's never made that sound before. New drive's got power to it, disk open. It's worked. I have a system, I've got it for nothing, and it's running Puppy, and it's running Ubuntu